Hello, buenos dias, dobrý den, guten tag, bonjour, welcome to Me Paintings. I'm Veronica Me and I'm very happy to see you here today because I'll be creating another rainbow acrylic pour with a little twist. If you've seen my previous videos, you know I love creating 3D effect on my pours, so that's what I'm gonna do today. I'll be using all these beautiful colors. This is lavender, violet permanent, magenta red, Indian yellow, cadmium yellow, yellowish green, turquoise and green earth. I buy these colors in local art shop. I'm sure they are available online. You have to check what's available in your country. And I'll be using my usual mix. I mix 1 part of acrylic colors and 1 part of pouring medium. This is the consistency of my colors. And as a pouring medium, I used this very cheap PVA glue, which was like €2, and I mixed 70% of this PVA glue and 30% of water. That created my pouring medium. So this is a very cheap option for pouring medium. And I also put 2 drops of silicone oil in each color, but not in my dark blue, phthalo blue, which will be on the sides. So this is the silicone oil which I put in all of my colors, but not in my blue. So let's move this aside. And today I'll be pouring on this big canvas, which is size 50 x 60 centimeters. I'll be pouring my colors here in the middle, and I want dark sides. So this one will be light part, and this one will be dark. So white, here we go. Sorry if my bag will be in a way. It's quite a big canvas. I try not to put my head in front of my camera, but this is the easiest way for me how to film it, so that's why I do it this way. That's white in the middle. And let's pour this phthalo blue on the sides, like this. With this type of cake spatula, even in the corners. Perfect. Now I can start pouring my colors. I'm gonna start with this earth green, and I'll be pouring these puddles of colors. So green, turquoise. Let's pour turquoise here on this edge as well. And then turquoise. Yellowish green. Perfect. So now it's time for my swipe. I'll be creating swipe in the middle, and for that I use my piece of plastic sheet. You could also use kitchen towel, cling film, ultrasound, any kind of plastic sheet should work. And I'm just gonna swipe from the bottom up there, and then I will create another swipe back down here. So I just need to make a little space here. Ready, steady, go. Now I'm going to use my heat gun. I use cheap heat gun from Lidl. It has got just on and off, and it's not that hot, but it's still very hot, but it has got around, like, I don't know, 400 Celsius, I think. So I'm gonna pop some of these cells. They are growing. This part is beautiful, but now I wanted to create double swipe because I want these colors to mix nicely together. And yeah, so I'm gonna swipe from the top down here. And let's move it that way a little bit. Let's see the magic appear. So let's just move these here. Perfect. So let's get this dry for about a week. It's very important to let it dry very well. And then I show you what to do next. I'm just gonna show you little details of it. Look at all these cool cells. And meanwhile, I wanted to show you where my original idea comes from. On the way back from school, we noticed this crack in the road, and that was the original idea for my pour. I wanted to paint this crack in the middle of my pour, and I just wanted to show you how my mind works and where my ideas comes from. This is my son Philip. Yeah, so there was a crack in the road, but when it was lying in the corner, I kept looking at it and I started to see beautiful birch trees inside of my pour. So I decided to change my original idea and transform it into completely something different. And I'm gonna use my masking tape for my birch trees. It's an easy way how you can paint beautiful birch trees. I'm gonna put 1/2 of masking tape on one side, and then I'm gonna carefully rip it off and create a nice interesting shape of a tree. So slowly ripping it off. And now I can decide how big I want my tree and what shape I want it to have. So yeah, I just sticked it to my canvas, and I'm also gonna highlight in some parts with cells which will represent my leaves on a tree. So I'm gonna put another masking tape and use a pencil and highlight the shapes of my cells like this. Perfect. And now I'm gonna cut it off, cut these interesting shapes and stick it to my canvas. Perfect. Now let's put few more there. And I can start creating my birch trees. I'm gonna use this Lucas Krill Studio Titanium White and Payne's Gray for my tree. So firstly, I'm gonna start with white. I'm gonna put it on my plastic cup. And I'm gonna fill the whole shape with white. I'm using just a regular cheap brush, doesn't matter what kind of brush you use. I think this was size 12 or 14, quite big. And I'm gonna fill the whole space with white. Be careful around the corners of your tape. You don't want it to go under your tapes. So let's fill it with white. And now time for my Payne's gray. So same brush, I didn't put it in the water, I'm just simply gonna blend this Payne's gray into the white, and it will create a nice beautiful shade of gray on my tree. So right part of my birch tree is darker and the left part will be lighter. Now I decided to put some lines, vertical lines on my birch tree as well. Later on I will put a relief paste on my tree, so you don't have to paint that many details. Now I'm gonna create some lines with my triple tip brush, and this will be slightly visible on my tree. And also some bigger, darker shapes on the right part, maybe on the left part as well. My hand is very loose and I'm just creating these darker shapes and shades on my tree. It's good to go outside and look at the birch trees which are around your place. Now let's see what's under my tape. Perfect, I love these cells. So let's take these tapes off and you will be able to see a beautiful birch tree. I know it looks weird right now, but I promise I will turn these green parts into beautiful abstract leaves. So I'm gonna paint a few more birch trees, few big ones, and then some smaller ones which will be in the background. And this is the most satisfying part for me. I love taking these tapes off. Now, when all my birch trees are painted, it's time for my relief paste. This one is from Lucas. I bought it in local art shop. There's loads of brands online. You will just have to search what's available in your country. And I'm gonna put this relief paste on my trees, and for that I'm gonna use my palette knife with sharp tip and maybe also this one with round tip. I'll see how it works. So let's put a little bit of that paste on my palette knife. It's kind of gluey. I just need to put a little bit of it on my knife and then create this interesting texture on my birch tree. I'm covering up these interesting details, but they will be visible a little bit underneath and it will create a beautiful texture for my trees. So as you can see, I'm layering these pastes on my tree, and later on I will also use some light gray and also some dark gray, which I will add on the top of my light paste. So let's finish all of my trees and then we can move to my cells. I mix a little bit of that Payne gray with the paste. Layer it up on the top of my light paste. And you don't have to do this step. It was alright before the paste, but I just wanted to create it slightly different than last time. So I added this texture. And of course you can do it however you want, and don't let anyone to tell you how you should do or shouldn't do your art. Just try to come up with your own ideas. try not to be afraid of experimenting. Experimenting is the best because it always allows me to come up with something unexpected, and it's very enjoyable when you can experiment with painting. I also decided to paint few of the branches on my background trees. For this I'm using white and light gray. Now I'm gonna use some dark color, black. My hand is very loose. I'm just trying to paint the shape of a branch, and on the right side there are dark branches, and on the left side there are some lighter branches. This one will be hidden underneath my cell formation, so I'm just painting a part of the branch. Okay, time for my cell formations. I'm gonna use this Artistro paint marker pen and highlighten the shape of my abstract leaves. So I'm just gonna go around my cells and just follow the natural lines of my cells. I will put the link to these in the description box for you if you'll be interested. Cool, that's done. Then I also decided to highlight in some cells, but later on I decided to fill it with black color, so you don't have to do this step. You can just follow your heart and create whatever you want. Sometimes we think that we are not good enough, but I promise if you keep trying, if you practice, you will surprise yourself with how good you are. I know sometimes it's hard to find the energy to paint, but I just love it because it makes me happy. Just creating something every day makes me so happy. Now, as you can see, I'm creating these shades underneath my cell formations. Let's put some darker color underneath. Okay, now time to fill these cells with darker backgrounds, and I'm just following the natural lines of my cells to create this interesting pattern. Again, I'm using my Artistro marker, and that gap I will fill with darker colors, so it creates interesting forms inside of my cells formations. And last step is drawing these reflections on the top of my cells. It will add that little 3D effect to my cells. So just gently painting, drawing these lines. And here you can see the result of my birch tree acrylic pour. I absolutely love how these cells formations ended up. They added that interest into my birch trees, and of course it's okay if you just want to paint birch trees without the cell formations. You can come up with so many ideas with this. So I hope this video was inspirational for you. I hope you found some great inspiration there. Look at the texture of my birch trees. And if you enjoyed it, please give a thumbs up or subscribe to my channel. You can also join my Facebook group, create with me, and show us your beautiful art. Thank you very much for watching. I'm very grateful for all your positivity. I can't wait to see you again. Bye!